Ladies and gentlemen, it's Smokey here. Today we're going to be taking a look at 2 Point Hospital video game playing on the Xbox One. Going to do a quick build guide so anybody at home can follow along on how I go about building my rooms. Today we're going to be focusing on the General Practitioner's office. Let's get into it. So GP's office, minimum room size is 3 by 3. You can build it as big as you want, but for the GP's office I stick to the 3 by 3. And I always place the door in the bottom left hand corner. So I'm playing this on console, so I do not have the option to disable grid snap. So you have to place the door in one of those sections. So I always put it in the bottom left. That's just the way I do it. Next thing you're asked to place is the office desk. So this is where the doctor will meet with the patient and decide what funky disease he has in this game. For this, I disable grid snap on Xbox. That's by pressing select button, and that allows you to move it more fluidly. So where I put this is I butt it up against this wall and I get it as close to the door as possible when I place it. That means so when the patient walks in, they're able to take a seat right away without having to cross the whole room, and it does add up to some efficiencies. The other thing you have to place in the GP's office is the filing cabinet, but we're going to skip that for just a second, and we're going to place medicine cabinets. So this is bought with the in-game currency called Kudosh. You get a lot of it throughout the game. I recommend buying the medicine cabinet right away, and I'll go over Kudosh in another video probably. But the medicine cabinet, full of expired medicine, it makes the room look more professional, so it's very useful. But its actual practical uses is it gives a 1% plus to treatment and diagnosis power. So that means if we put enough of these in here, we're going to get an added bonus to the general practitioner when he's diagnosing somebody. So what I do is I go ahead and I line 5 of these bad boys up, again disabling that grid snap, and I just put them. You don't have to be perfect for this because you can only put 5 in. I've tried my hardest to get 6 on it, but it doesn't let you. So 5.
We're sorry for the litter that you dropped on our floor.
And we could put another 5 on this facing them. You want to make sure that they're all pretty level. Yeah, see,
Doctor, to make a scan, please.
Edit. I messed up there. So you're going to want to do 5 along here. If you do it right, you should be able to get 5, 10 looking like that. You can actually place a few more of these. Go in the bottom corner here. Go 1 right beside it here. Flip it around. 1 more right here. As close as you can to this one. Important there. Yes, you can. If you played around, you can get another one in here. You get another one there. And then we're going to place the filing cabinet up top here. Like that. Now we can build the GP's office. So if you look there, we've got 14 medicine cabinets dotted around this room. That's a 14% plus to the diagnosis. Because this is a cold map, we need to have heating, cooling, either one. If you're doing heating or air conditioning, I actually use ice sculptures because they don't require maintenance, but you can put ice sculptures here, as well as your radiator can fit up in here, up top here. Another thing I like to add that I bought with some kudos is a rug.
Doctor's GP's office.
I like the Ace of Spades rug. I like the way it looks. You just slide it in. There. And then there's another unlockable item from Kudos called the Gold Star Award. Actually, it's a little bit cheesy.
Nurse required in chromotherapy.
Let's throw 2 windows in here too. Yeah. Sorry. You don't have to add the windows. But the Gold Star Award. Now, it's not... You don't have to get this room to level 5. I get all my rooms to level 5 just because of how easy this game has made it to do that. With these Gold Star Awards, you can get to level 5 prestige by dotting these around. And that does make the hospital more attractive. Go ahead and build it, and there's your GP's office. Now, if you go to your filters here, you see like your attractiveness. You notice how the, because it's level 5, it does spill out. Makes your hospital more attractive. And it's maintenance free. You don't have to use plants or anything.
Assistant to reception.
Yeah. So about the GP's office. So in this hospital in particular, let's get that filter off. It's a bit hard to look at. You want your GP's office located with your reception, so that as soon as your guest checks in with reception, their next is going to be the GP's office. They're going to have an appointment there. Once they get in line, you want your GP's offices to be right around your reception pods, because you don't want your people waiting around. So the other thing we need to take a look at when we're talking about a general practice is the doctor. So when we get a doctor who is brand new, if we hire a doctor off the street, I like to hire brand new doctors because they're cheaper and they don't have the mixed skills. So like this guy here has psychiatry and genetics. I would never really have my psychiatrist working in the genetics lab. So to me, this is a useless doctor. I would not take him. But a new doctor like June Sauce here likes to argue, great, but won their school talent contest once, so it makes up for it. But if I hire her and train her, I would only train her if I was using her as a general practice doctor in the general practice skill, because it gives 15+% bonus to the diagnostics process in the general practice. So somebody comes in patient comes in off the street, goes into general practice with no doctor, with zero skill, they'll just get a regular assessment, probably not going to be very high percentage unless it's a very, very easy to treat ailment that he has. The higher the general practice level, the more these bonuses stack. So a doctor with general practice 5, for example, will have a 75% boost because everyone gives 15. And then if you look at the medicine cabinets, you know, they get all these extra added bonuses that can stack up to, 85, 90%. And so I'm not saying you're going to one-shot every single time, but between the general practice diagnosis and then going to a diagnostics room, even the most difficult to solve ailments can be solved with just the 2 visits, which gets your patients coming in and out of the hospital very quick, lets you accumulate money way faster. I would never... So let's go over some skills. If I hired a doctor in a pinch and it had the diagnostic skill, I would set it to work in the general practice office. Diagnostic skill gives 10% diagnosis. So Again, you get that extra 15% by having the general practice skill. But I would never go higher and train like diagnostics 2 and 3 to work in the general practice office. Doesn't make sense. Stamina, yeah, okay. They work longer before taking a break. Emotional intelligence might rub off on people, but we'll talk about what we do for the patients to get them happy. Bedside manner, again, increases the happiness. General practice doctor doesn't need this. They need this skill. Increased GP diagnostic skill, 15% plus. That is what they need. Like I said, a level 5 GP gets a 75% bonus, and then with the medicine cabinets, it's well worth it. So another thing we need to take a look at is happiness. So what I do for my hospital is I make sure that everybody comes back to the general practice doctor before going to treatment. And what I do is I set my price of my my diagnostics in the general practice at minus 60%. Everything else is plus 20. And the reason why I do that is because at a minus 60% discount, the people go in there and they're so happy that they're going to leave there almost 100% happy every single time. Even if you have a doctor that likes to argue, like June Sauce, they will leave there happy. It's good for your reputation for your hospital, and it gets them happy, which means you can charge more for everything else. I just use 20% because I don't usually need the money, but you can usually gouge people probably 30-40%. Even in the diagnostics, you can even get a little bit higher, but you start to see more people rejecting payment. So you got to be careful with that. And so what I mean by that is, oh, this guy's 100% happy anyways. Let's see here. Don't really have any queues anywhere. Are you mad? He's not mad, but he's got a little bit. Oh, so he still needs a diagnosis. So he's gonna go here. So he's gonna go off to Megascan now. So he might have something hard to treat. So he's going to the Megascan now. Let's just send it for treatment. Yeah. So denim jeans. But you see how his happiness ticked right back up to 100. So every single time he goes back there, he'll get 100% every time before he goes off to treatment. Which means he'll pay the 20%, 30% amount. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video. I really much appreciate it. If you made it to the end, drop a like below, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you want to see any particular room builds. I'm going to probably get around to all of them, but if you have a request that you want me to do right away, let me know, and I'll get to it right away. Yeah. Thanks. Bye, everybody.